Disney Pixar Elio. Adapted by Amy Murata. Illustrated by Kenneth Anderson. Designed by Tony Fayaran. Elio Solis packed up his gear and went to the beach. Each day he hoped aliens would finally arrive to take him to outer space. He waited, and waited, and waited some more, even if it meant spending most of his time alone. One evening, two boys named Caleb and Bryce found Elio's spot. Bryce was interested in Elio's homemade radio, but when Caleb started messing with it, Elio got upset. The boys yanked the radio back and forth until the antenna poked Elio's eye. Ouch! Security from the nearby military base broke up the scuffle. Elio knew he was in big trouble. Elio's aunt Olga worked at the military base. She was upset that Elio had gotten into a fight. She told him to wait in her office, but Elio snuck into her meeting instead. An analyst named Gunther Melmack believed that he had uncovered a message from outer space and wanted to respond. Olga wasn't impressed, but Elio was thrilled. Aliens were real. When the coast was clear, Elio recorded a message at Melmack's computer, asking the aliens to pick him up. He hit send. After Elio and Olga got home, Elio frantically prepared for the aliens' arrival. But Olga had other plans. He would go to summer camp to make new friends and stay out of trouble. "Your life isn't up there, Elio," she said. "It's down here." Elio climbed to the roof and gazed at the stars. He still believed the aliens were out there, but he had never felt so alone. The next morning, Olga dropped Elio off at Camp Carver, where he discovered something terrible. Caleb and Bryce were there too. Elio was trapped. The day passed, and there was still no sign of aliens. Elio was about to lose all hope when a beam of light appeared. He began floating toward a giant spaceship. "It's happening! It's really happening!" Elio cried. On board, Elio was greeted by a supercomputer named Uwo. She gave him a communidisc, which controlled gravity and allowed him to understand alien languages. Then, O brought Elio to the Communiverse, a spectacular space city. 3 alien ambassadors, Questa, Helix, and Tegman, took Elio on a tour. They even made him a new outfit. The aliens had received Elio's message and believed he was the leader of Earth. Elio wanted to prove that he belonged with the other leaders so he could stay in the Communiverse. He got his chance sooner than he'd expected. A warrior named Lord Gregan had threatened to destroy the Communiverse because he wasn't allowed to join. Elio volunteered to negotiate with Gregon. But first, someone needed to take Elio's place on Earth. Ooh used cloning clay to create an exact copy of Elio. Other Elio was ready for the job and stepped through a portal leading to Earth. A while later, a nervous Elio arrived at Gregon's ship. The warrior was quick to anger and wasn't interested in peace with the Communiverse or with Elio. Elio had to find a way off Gregon's ship. As he searched for an escape route, he got tangled in a sticky web. It belonged to a huge, toothy worm. Elio learned that the worm was a kid, too. He was Gregon's son, Glorden. Glorden offered to help Elio. The pair left Gregon's ship and made it safely to the Communiverse. Elio told Gregon that he would return Glorden only if he left the Communiverse in peace. "You are full of surprises," said Grigon. "You have my vow." Elio and Glorden couldn't believe their plan had worked. Before Glorden had to return home, Elio took him on a tour of the Communiverse. It was the most fun they'd ever had. Not only were they each other's first friends, but they also became best friends. Soon it was time for Glorden to go home. Grigon had arrived in the Communiverse, and he had brought along Glorden's battle armor. Glorden was horrified. If he put it on, he could never take it off. He didn't want to be a warrior like his dad. Elio had a plan. Using cloning clay, he made a copy of Glorden. Glorden would stay hidden in one of the ships while other Glorden took his place in the battle armor. Elio brought other Glorden to Grigon, but before long, Grigon realized that other Glorden was not his real son. Grigon arrested the ambassadors and began destroying everything in sight in search of Glorden. Before he could get to Elio, Questa opened a portal to Earth and pushed Elio through it. Elio splashed into the ocean and then swam to shore. He felt like he didn't belong anywhere. Then he heard someone nearby. It was Olga. She had figured out that other Elio was not her Elio. She was willing to do anything to get him back, including believing in aliens. Suddenly, there was a big commotion at the base. A ship had arrived. Elio realized it was Glorden's ship. Glorden had accidentally activated the ship to go to Earth and couldn't control it. Elio and Olga snuck on board. Glorden was sick and needed to get back to the Communiverse as soon as possible. They launched into space. After a while, they heard strange noises. Tap, 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 boom. The ship jolted and shook as it was pelted by debris. Elio and Olga needed someone to guide them out of the debris field. They called Olga's employee, Melmac. He and his worldwide network of operators came to their aid. Once the ship's path was clear, they sped toward the Communiverse. When they arrived, Grigon rushed to his sick son. He ripped open his battle armor, revealing his true worm form, and swaddled Glorden in a web. Elio sighed in relief as Glorden slowly regained his energy. The aliens were grateful for Elio's bravery, and they agreed that he had proven himself. He could stay in the Communiverse. It was everything Elio had dreamed, but he realized there was something more important to him. "This place is amazing," he said, "but Earth is home. I didn't give it a chance, but now I want to try." He walked over to Olga and held her hand. "With you." Elio bid farewell to his new friends, and he and Olga returned home together. Whether on Earth or in the vast universe, Elio was now certain of one thing: he wasn't alone.